and welcome to the Money Shot Financial News to Go. This week we jump into the bubbling cauldron of intrigue that is how the credit crunch is affecting football. Back in the day, footy clubs were owned by upstanding local businessmen types keen to do their bit for the community. Then came the TV money and in came the multimillionaires who spotted a chance to make a bob or two. But now sponsors are dropping out, chairmen are panicking, and your team might soon go the way of an Icelandic bank manager. Sounds like we need a new breed of club owner. You know, people who are passionate about their team, who have followed the club through thick and thin, and know exactly how the club should be run because they shout instructions from the stands each week. Yep, move over all you Johnny-come-lately foreign types because your new club boss, well, it could be you. Right, so how exactly do you go about this then? Well, we reckon there are 5 routes to grabbing the reins of your top footy team. Number 5, make friends with bankers. If you're anything like Hicks and Gillette snaffling up Liverpool, you could always just nip down the bank. They pretty much rocked up and said, "Hello, bank manager, please may I have £350 million? The bankman replied, "Of course, sir, no worries at all." Then off you pop, stick the money down and buy yourselves a team. You see, now you own the club and transfer the bank debt back to them. The bank are happy because they hold the club as security against the debt. The club now owes the bank the money and you own the club with no responsibility to pay it back. Happy days. Slight problem is that the credit crunch has made this whole scam a bit trickier and the bank manager won't take you too seriously unless you have a few millions put down as collateral. Number 4, marry someone rich. How about Madonna? There are many downsides to this, like missing games because you're down at the Kabbalah temple and swapping beers for a macrobiotic diet. But Madge is single and all the material girl's cash should be enough to ensure ownership of, at least Crewe Alexandra. The ex-Mrs. Abramovich is also looking for love. Maybe she might be tempted to get her own back on Roman by stumping up the cash for arch rivals Fulham. Number 3, be an incredibly successful business person. Alternatively, you could just be really rich, like the countless private investors that seem to be joining our beloved league every day. You could follow in the footsteps of some of the country's most successful owners, like the Abu Dhabi Group, who made their money in oil, the brewing, freight and seafood industries, or Björgul Björgulsson, you know, the Icelandic bloke at West Ham. You can even endear yourself to the fans by taking a comedy name like Randy Lerner over at Villa. The downside is that if you are any good at business, you'll know that running a football club doesn't exactly score high on the old return on investment. Basically, you pay far too much for a club that is clearly not worth it on any realistic measure, and everyone says, "You're a fool!" Your only option is to flog it to a bigger fool for a profit. Number 2, inherit a club. This one is a bit tricky as you do need a rather loaded parent or two, but full marks to Peter Hillwood at Arsenal, who is chairman at Arsenal, just like his dad was, and his granddad too. Aww. Number 1, club together with your mates. Now that Obama's Socialist Republic of the United States is on its way and Gordon Brown is nationalising banks left, right and centre, maybe it is time to bring a bit of commie action back to football. So you get together with a load of your mates and you all put a tenner or so in and take the club away from the feckless wastrels who currently own it and give it back to the fans. It might sound a tad utopian, but believe me, it's already happening at places like Brentford, Exeter City and 10 other league clubs. Over at Stockport County, the fans grabbed the reins back in 2004 and since then a collective has made all the big decisions. Well, not all of them. Manager Jim Gannon still chooses which players he buys, but it is the supporters who give him the budget. And better still, anyone, county fan or not, can become a member. So you can own your own tiny bit of a football club for a credit crunch busting £12. And who is going to be next? Accrington Stanley? Carlisle United? Liverpool? Yep, earlier this year, supporters' rights champion Rogan Taylor started a campaign to line up $500 million to buy Liverpool from our old mates Gillette and Hicks. His group share Liverpool not only has some serious support from the fans, but has received a nod from Secretary of State for Sport Andy Burnham. Gillette and Hicks need to restructure their debt by mid-2009, and Share Liverpool is starting to put pressure on the duo to talk to them about selling the club rather than going cap in hand back to the bank. So who knows, one day you might be able to own your own club. Only trouble is you'll have to share it with the ill-informed Neanderthal Nusser who sits 3 rows behind you, and your prawn sandwich eating mate who only goes twice a year. Oh, and the bloke who used to support Leeds United but dumped them. Join us next time on The Money Shot as we delve once more into the world of finance.